And welcome to the Dingus Den for a brand new Energon Universe review video. We are here to talk about Void Rivals Volume 2. I'm excited to get into this one. Let's just do it.
Welcome to the Dingus Den.
All right. Well, welcome back, Warren. We're here to talk about more Energon Universe stuff with Void Rivals Volume 2. And if you like what you see here, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Might have some pretty cool things happening later on here in the Dingus Den, so stay tuned for whatever all that may be. But until then, we've got a cool book to talk about.
Yes, we do.
Last time we talked about Void Rivals Volume 1, which was rather exciting, you could say. And it just made us immediately want to go, okay, let's go on. We got more of this to read. And so, and yeah, I gotta say, whatever they're doing with this cosmic side of the Energon Universe is quite exciting and pulling into some very interesting bits of lore. This time they even go into something even more obscure, but yeah, I'm excited to get into this.
Yeah, it's really interesting. The first one left us with so many questions, and the second one answered a bunch of them. Like, this was just like the reveal volume on a lot of stuff. I mean, there's still some questions, but really, the first one set everything up kind of nice, the new world, and then this one made it's like, oh yeah, by the way, that volume 2, here is how it all connects. And it was very, very fascinating.
Yeah, we had a lot of really good things going on there, which is really cool. A lot of stuff happened, which I liked. And so yeah, that was really cool stuff that we've gotten throughout this volume in general, which I liked. But yeah, so this volume overall, yeah, like it was awesome. We got a lot of good stuff going on with this, and you know what, I think we should just get into it. I don't know if I have anything. Yeah, let's just do this.
Let's do this.
Let's just say let's do it.
This guy is quickly becoming one of my favorite characters.
Like, oh, Skuxoid.
Skuxoid, and you'll see here the fans will get to see here in the future. But yeah, it hit the old heartstrings with old Skuxoid. I like this guy.
You know the book's special when it begins with Skuxoid, obviously.
Yeah. Who's much more of the story than I thought he would be. Like, I thought he was just kind of there volume 1, but he's like all through volume 2.
Yeah, he's still here. It's like, you know, he's the character that's like in this where I'm still like, what exactly is going on with him here?
Yeah.
Like, I still don't quite know where they're trying to take Skuxoid, which is interesting. What's interesting is, I don't remember who this person's name is here, but we get this fish dude, which is like this other obscure person that appeared in like the same era of cartoons as Skuxoid.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of deep cuts.
We are.
A lot of deep cuts.
This is like 1, 2, or 3 that we got in this, and so it's pretty cool though. I'm always here for the cool deep cuts of the characters and stuff that we get. And anyway, Skuxoid is telling this fish dude about like, yeah, I found this special thing, and you know, the special, you know, belongs to the Zertonians, and you know, but then we get a big reveal, like right at the beginning of the issue.
Yeah, a major character from the first Transformers movie.
Yeah.
He's the one that took over for Prime after he was killed.
Isn't his name Hot Rod?
It's Hot Rod, but then I believe he became Rodimus Prime or something like that when he took over the Matrix of Leadership or some shit. Rodimus Prime. I'm not 100% sure, like Hot Rodimus.
I don't remember if that's the name or not, but that's such a great and funny name. I just remember the Hot Rod part. That's funny. But yeah, no, like quite the reveal right off the bat of like, holy cow, it's him. It's Hot Rod, and he's like he's there, and yeah, it's pretty cool. But then as we get into it, we get a little bit of flashback stuff of what was going on with our main character of Derek. Derek. Yeah, Derek.
Yeah, we're calling him Derek. We'll just
Derek. It's just Derek. It's interesting too, after saying like what this sets up after having read the whole thing, that I didn't even realize until now, after looking back on some of these earlier pages, and I'm saying like, oh, he was stranded out here in the wasteland once, and this gets revisited later in the story. As you know, cut to current times, and oh, he's stuck in the wasteland again with her name that I don't remember.
Solaria?
Solaria, yeah.
Solaria?
Something.
Yeah.
We'll get the names down eventually. But anyway, they start traveling through the wasteland. A sandstorm hits them. We also see some things going on with the leader here. Is he the Zertonian leader?
What a great shot, too, by the way.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. And he's like talking to this person. His is this like his son? Isn't that right?
I think so. Have they established? Because I know he's related to Solaria, but I don't know if that's daddy. I'm not 100% sure with the relationship here.
Yeah, I got that vibe. Maybe it's just something that gave me the wrong feeling, but that's what I was feeling about it. So, but yeah, it's interesting what they're setting up with these characters, and he's talking with them here, and then you get this crazy reveal of, oh, he's talking to him while he's in a freaking like back to chamber, essentially. Like, he's on life support there.
Apparently, their first fight that he mentioned did not go well for him, or something didn't go well for him, because he's essentially like as much left of him as like that's left of RoboCop at this point. Like,
not a pleasant state to be in, and he's just keeping him there. And we like see. I mean, this is a cool set of panels as you just see all the sort of inner workings here. You know, all coming together to form into a version of RoboCop, I guess you could say.
Robo assassin.
Yeah. Say you can't shorten that, because then that turns into Robo ass, which just doesn't work. So anyway,
fuck.
We see him form here, and it's Proximus, as was set up at the very end of last issue, at the last volume, where we were like, this is Proximus. It's the original character. So very cool. And he looks cool too. I remember seeing the cover for Volume 2 before, even some of the issues of that's involved in Volume 2. Like maybe I want to say is like the cover of issue 7 is the one used as the main cover for Volume 2. Point is, I remember seeing this cover that like looked really cool, and it didn't hit me until this moment that I thought I was just looking at the leader dude being badass, and then I realized, no, it's actually this guy.
Yeah, who has the same hat fashion as the leader.
I was going to say, it's very easy to get confused if you just kind of don't know who they are, and you just kind of glance at it and think, oh, that's cool, and then go on, you know? But Proximus is rebuilt and ready to kick ass as he's about to go out, as here our heroes are venturing through the wasteland. I did feel as if a little bit that the traveling was dipped a little bit. Not quite at this moment yet, but like a little bit later on, I was kind of like, okay, there's a lot of walking and talking here where there's a bunch of other really cool things going on.
Yeah, that is true.
That is my only, but also that is like my only beef or complaint with this, though, of like, there's kind of just one moment where I really kind of felt like it slowed down, and then the moment, you know what, we'll get there in a moment. But then right after I felt that, things started happening. But yeah, here we get to see this, get more with this sort of sisterhood or whatever they're called. Mistressville, getting a little bit more with them, which is really cool. And getting this sort of flashback between, as you're talking about Solaria and who become Proximus.
And I'm guessing that Proximus is Solaria's brother.
It would make sense with what's set up. Like I don't think it's I don't think it's explicitly said, but it's like hinted at. Like
he does look like it. It appears to be that way, and I don't know if they're both siblings of the leader. I don't know if they established that, but it does look definitely these two are siblings.
Yeah, we could tell that they're also like both special to him as well. So like, they at least have a sibling kind of relationship and everything. But yeah, interesting. And we get into like seeing that they were trained fighters from an early age, which makes sense why they're both known as like secret weapons of sorts, I guess you could say. So anyway, this is a badass shot, seeing Proximus come riding across the wasteland and get a little bit of like a back view there at the bottom there. It's pretty cool. Really like it. Pretty cool looking fellow as he's going across, and oh, what is that? We gotta run. What a shot right there. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
The art in this is really cool. I don't remember who did the art in this.
It was all
right? Something like that.
Something like that.
It looks like a bunch of like Omega beams from Darkseid, like going across all over the.
Oh yeah, it does.
But yeah, pretty wild looking. Quite an entrance there as he, enter badass villain on a bike sequence, right? So, pretty cool. And they get their standoff where they start fighting. And it's like, oh, holy cow. It's like, I just feel like the book was slowing down some. And then you get this whole moment where they're fighting each other. And it's like, holy cow. And oh, crap. He's armored. They can't really do anything against him. He's quite the foe. And like, look at all those actions. Pretty badass. Going through all this and all the fights. And there he is choking Solaria or whatever her name is. And they're just barely able to get away. This first encounter is pretty rough for him. But then I think this is when the sandstorm hit, so they were able to
it essentially blew them away from him.
Yeah, because they were talking about earlier of like, hey, if this is when if this is they did set up earlier of being like, well, if the storm blows us in the right way, it'll save us a few days of travel from our 2-week journey or whatever it was that they were saying. But she got hurt.
She's been shish kebabbed.
Shish kebab. A Solaria shish kebab is what we call this special in the menu. So anyway, she's now heavily injured as they continue making the journey across. This part with Skuxoid. Oh my god.
Oh, this was so sad.
And they set him up too. I don't remember if it was last issue or last volume or when we saw him earlier at the beginning, but he mentioned about having family and that, like, he needs to go back to his family, and he comes back home and he's calling out for him and he's like, it's empty. And he's like, oh, forgot. And I was like, oh, he's okay. Not many things that give me an audible reaction after like reading it. And I was like, oh, okay, Skuxoid. Poor Skuxoid there. Poor Skuxoid, I was like, oh my gosh. I was not a twist I was expecting, and it's just like
no, it kind of threw me for a loop when I first saw it, and I was just like, oh guy.
I want to know more. It's like, what's going on with Skuxoid here? What happened to his family? We need a Skuxoid one shot. That'd be interesting. But yeah, he's just all lonely at home and saying it just never gets any easier. It's like the first real moment you really feel for him either, I mean, like, you maybe feel a little bit something of like, oh, he's just having a hard time with his job. It's interesting because it's like you meet him and it's like, oh, what an ass for, capturing the heroes, and then you see this moment and you're like, oh, He's so
Yeah, you think
lonely and
he's going to be
sad.
kind of one of those scuzzy characters that just kind of comes in and out, but then we get to see this, and I was just like, oh, geez, poor guy.
I know. I was
There's
not
some dirt
expecting
behind
that.
that.
Yeah, I was
I want to know
not
what happened
expecting.
now. Like, did they leave him? Did they die? Like, what happened?
Why would he forget? That's the other thing too. Is it's like it seems like quite an important thing to forget an important detail of if you get left or they're dead or something. You know.
Yeah.
What does it say about Skuxoid? Who knows? Does he suffer from like long-term memory loss? Who knows? I don't know. So anyway, they go back. We see a bit more of their traveling through as Solaria's weekend. This is the part that I kind of felt like more specifically kind of slowed it down, not the previous bit. But this one here was kind of I was like, okay, it's kind of slow here. And then next thing we know, we get oh my gosh, I just looked this guy up because I didn't recognize him. It's probably my recent search history if I look. Was this a transformer you recognized right off the bat?
No, not at all. So I'm not sure.
Google told me his name is Springer.
Oh, okay. I still don't recognize the name, but
Me neither.
I'm pretty sure he's in that lore.
Yeah. He's definitely somewhere. Yeah, but he's here, which is cool. And we start learning. Well, okay, before we start learning lore drops, we get round 2 of the fight.
Yeah.
Go through, and it's like now we get Proximus versus an Autobot, which is such an awesome fight. Because also this Autobot has a freaking sword, and so like look at this. And I love this too, where Proximus is like, "Your size does not intimidate me," and then Springer there is like, "Funny, same." Oh, it's pretty great. So it's a pretty cool fight as we get into it too, and seeing all this happen between the two. Pretty cool, I gotta say. Honestly, probably one of my favorite action bits that we've gotten so far. All the Energon Universe stuff, because it's just so cool to see a badass warrior against a freaking Autobot. Like, just so cool. So anyway, during the fight, we see Derek find this device on Solaria. He's trying to figure out exactly what this is. And I noticed too that she was holding this and she was like using this, it seemed like earlier, like in the first Wasteland bit, which is interesting. But here, I don't remember this main four-headed Quintesson name, but we go back to Quintessa with all the Quintessons. And here we get some really interesting info about saying like these ship materials that they got, because remember they got these Quintessons got the ship from Skuxoid that Derek was on. And this person's like, oh, interesting, this formula, it dates back to ancient Cybertronian. That like that's quite a big kind of lore drop, because I remember I mentioned last time it being like, wait, is there a link between this these Orgonias and the Zertonians before with like having a connection to making Cybertron of some sorts? It sounds like it could be some sort of big link to that.
Yeah, it does. They get into it more later, but it appears it appears that a Cybertonian broke away and then essentially created what we're seeing now, the ring, the people, and then she later became the Zertonian's god, Zerta, and which her real name is Zerta Trion,
which
and
is first mentioned here.
Yeah, as soon as this poor guy says it, they shock the shit out of him. So
that's true. Right there. Speaking of the shocking,
that name has long been forbidden.
So this is something else that I don't know of Zerta Trion at all. If there's any like what the connection there of previous establishment, if anything, or if it's original character. Because when I looked it up, everything I got at first was stuff from the Energon Universe. And I was like, oh, this isn't what I want at all. So I kind of just like, I didn't read through any of it. I was like, this is what I'm looking for. This is what I'm looking for. Okay, everything I'm immediately seeing is Energon Universe. I didn't look deep enough to see where this character has been before, if anywhere. But point is this person is a bit more, if they're anywhere, it's a bit more of a like even deeper pool than Skuxoid or Fish Dude or anything. Because when I looked them up, I got answers right away without typing in, like they showed up of like, oh yeah, they're from like G1 stuff here and here, and I was like, oh cool. But yeah, this one I couldn't find any info on, so I'm really curious to learning more about who this Ursa Tryon is and
it sounds like she's made up just for this series, but I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, I was about to say I didn't want to dig too deep and get spoiled, and then I could dig deeper later.
Yeah. I can see now, and like even just doing this quick Google search.
Yeah,
I know now why the Quisentans don't like her. And I that kind of probably spoiled something.
Yeah, I was about to say, I was like, that's not what we were wanting. Crap. Yeah, I started seeing something and I was like, nope, not reading that. Oh, the article. Nope. Okay, never mind. We'll find out, But Zertonia, though, we get more Zertonia. We get another conversation between the two leaders. Essentially being like, I like this moment where he's like, oh, they escaped. That's what you're saying. And he's just like, don't you bark about my failure on my face.
Yeah.
I like this moment here where he's smiling there at the end. You can tell the side profile of a smile there, which was
cool. A little bit of pride for his son for escaping, I guess.
Yeah. And then we get back to the fight, the epic fight between, because and here he is like, oh, you're trained to fight against people, or fighters, but not vehicles. But yeah, those are such a fun moment here as we see them go at it. And then here we see, but yeah, here Solaria uses like the last bit of her energy after she sees him trying to figure out what this fob thing is that he took from her. She's like, don't touch that. And then goes back to laying down after that. Obviously something very important to her. And then Shunk to the Proximus as he reaches what appears to be a brutal end.
Or
as he's
not.
cut in half. Well, he's cut in half is what we see here. Which makes you think, how could he possibly come back? We'll just leave it at that for a moment. Because we now get more interesting lore stuff once they go down into Springer's basement here, essentially. Where he's talking about all this stuff that's going on here, and he's saying, like, yeah, he had a bunch of time to himself, so he got to, like, do all this cool tech stuff in the garage here. Well, here they start helping heal up Solaria, and so she gets like this cool weird outer body experience. And Violet's talking a lot like this is, it kind of delves a little bit more into possible connections to this, but you remember in Transformers, like the whole thing with like Spike's dad and into and like all that bit that was in Transformers. I don't remember what volume was in, like 2 or 3, I think. It sounded a lot like that. And it makes sense with these connections that we're kind of seeing of like, oh, this is kind of like, as this is all connected to Energon, as we'll learn here in like just a moment. I don't know, it's just like an interesting connection there being like, oh, this is something in a similar fashion to what we saw in Transformers of it's a cool link here in a way. So it's just interesting to see, like,
and we know what the jewels are for now. They're Energon ports, which is, it starts to make sense on everything. Like even Springer explains that their entire planet ring is a Energon like producer, like a big Energon factory, if you will. And it's really interesting because it shows how everything kind of plays into it.
Yeah, I mean, it's as we were saying at the beginning of like, this is the volume where we start getting a bunch of answers of being like, oh, so this is like how it ties in more. And now it's like, oh, so this is why Void Rivals matters, Like
Yeah.
volume 1 was just a lot of like, oh, this is interesting setup, but why does this matter? Now we're like, oh, now we're seeing why it matters. Not only are we understanding lore implications, but we're also getting characters that matter. Like we're getting more quintessons in this. But then not just that, but like we're also getting more Autobots in this, like Hot Rod's there, so Springer's there, and so it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
like
no Decepticons yet, all Autobots.
that's also true. Well, I mean, it also makes sense too, and it's maybe it's what Springer was saying at this moment, if I remember right, on the timing of when he is like, yeah, the war at home is really rough, so like some of us are just kind of left to try to, do what
Yeah,
we
their
can.
side's losing, resources are getting low, so they sent out a bunch of people to try to find other sources of Energon, and that's what brought him to the Sacred Ring.
Yeah, and he's just been hanging out there, which is quite interesting. And then they get interrupted by a big crew. But earlier though on Zertonia, we see how I like this bit where the leader there he's like, oh, his signal went offline. We need to send a whole army detachment there now. And he's like, and I guess general or army supervisor, whatever he is there, I'll just say general, he's like, well, I don't know if that's the best idea. And then he's like, the main leader's like, just don't question my authority.
Just do as you're told.
Just do it as you're told. I like it. He's like, you know who you're talking to, right? I'm the motherfucking leader. Anyway. But as we see here, though, it's much worse than they thought. It's a giant platoon, essentially. That's there to mess up their day. So another big epic battle sequence. Like once, like the first little say couple issues are kind of slow here and there, but then like when you really get into it, it's like it does not stop with like, holy cow, these lure drops and all this action. It's a really strong, like 2/3, I would say, for the most part of this. As we just keep on getting into more of this, which is really cool to see. Look at that. That's so cool. And so
yeah, it's amazing on like she's taking on this entire like army with them. And the Autobots turned into a helicopter, but he can't fly for very long because of the gravity. And yeah, I mean, they're quite the trio of fighters. Like it's
pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and he's like, oh yeah, and he's like, oh yeah, my blusher's not going to go through when it does hit, so the amethyst that you're offering me doesn't matter. And I love this part too, where he's like, he sees the tank and he's like, gulp. And then Springer goes over there, and then Derek's reaction is, "You kicked a tank, rad!" That maybe that got a little chuckle out of me as I was reading. So
he's like, "Can you try to help at least half as much as her?" And he's like, "Wait, I got an idea. Hold on."
Yeah, here, let me go do this thing. What does he do? Brings that back.
Yeah,
and this is what I was saying earlier. Like when we were seeing that flashback, it's like, oh, that's why that flashback matters, because they set up like you worked on these very briefly. Or worked with this thing very briefly, which is really cool looking. I don't know why you just now thought of an exosuit, but hey, cool. Exosuit's pretty cool. Yeah, like look at that. Like he's still destroying tanks with his giant sword. Springer is, and you get this whole like
he tries to kick the tank, but it does not work.
He's like, crap. Fine, you win. Or really, we win. Yeah, the banter with him is such a he's a fun main character.
Yeah, and this is an important part too, because Derek has Springer save one of the soldiers using Energon, and then gives them the scientific information so they can use it, which is kind of a really important deal. It's like this can feed people along those lines. So the whole thing about this is their quest that unity is about to happen. So there's going to be something's going to happen that cause the two sides to unify.
Right.
And it's all starting to show part of it, and how that's what this volume does really well is how each of them, both Derek and Solaria, are important parts of this kind of unity that's coming through.
Yeah.
We don't know exactly what she's
No.
supposed to do with that jump drive thingy yet, but I could definitely see him as a leader of people. Like he's starting to get built up that way. He cares and he wants everyone to survive, and I can see him being a unifier.
Yeah.
And she has some kind of importance that has to do with Zerta and what we are seeing as the origin of the sacred ring and all that.
Yeah, it's a really cool conversation here. Like just going off of what you're saying, of where she's like, you're giving up your people's advantage that they have of being able to create stable energy and all that. And yeah, it was just a really cool little exchange here that really gets into what you were just talking about.
Yeah, it's like it's not your people, it's my people, it's our people, and it's like they're just lives, and I want to save as many as I can, and it's just it's a really good job of showing their characters, and she's really starting to open up to him now. So it's they're getting a lot closer.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Like I said, Kirkman knows how to write a good long form story, and it seems like it's going to be one of those that you just get more and more invested in every volume, and better and better too, as where the pieces connect and just the grand scale of it all. And so,
and what a great way to connect everything, to connect all the lores and to work everything in together. He essentially creates a whole new like race of people, and this whole side story thing, and it's really doing a beautiful job of connecting it all, weaving it together, and it's bravo to Kirkman.
Yeah. He's been doing a great job with all this so far too, and I'm interested in of learning as well of like what all this unity stuff is that you were just talking about too. Of like, we're seeing these characters so determined to have it, but then these leaders are like, the last thing we need is this unity to happen, and so it's like, what is this thing? I'm excited to see more of what it actually is when we eventually get there. So, but yeah, it's pretty cool. And then we get into more stuff with Skuxoid and this other dude. I don't know who this dude is. I didn't look up this at all.
No, neither did I.
But some other alien dude that may or may not be a thing. And then we also see this robot. We saw this robot. When did we see him before? Was it either earlier this volume? Or
it was earlier when he was talking to Hot Rod. The robot was spying on him. I think he's a spy for the Quintessence, if I remember correctly.
Well, I don't know if we... Is he? See, because I don't remember if they said that or not. But
if he's either Quintessence or I'm guessing for the Decepticons.
Because I guess we'll see.
Yeah, he might have been planted with him after he took that Quintessence to what was the name of that one-eyed Cyclops Decepticon in the first volume that kicked him out?
Shockwave.
Is it Shockwave?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Soundwave is the one that has the cassette on his chest.
Yeah. Shockwave is the one-eyed guy. Yeah.
That's how I remember it. Is Soundwave is the one with that. Anyway. But yeah, no, but like here, like if I remember right, before we just see him like being a spy, we don't really know anything about him, and like he didn't say anything. All we know is like there's a spy. I believe these are his first speaking lines, if I remember right.
Yeah.
Where he says this one is like the others. He has an unrivaled level of ambition. Suspect he will make a worthy addition to your ranks. Yes, I'll continue to monitor him, my lord. Which I'm just so curious of what he's really connected to.
I wonder if he's connected to the Cobra Law people.
Oh,
because they did go into space during, I believe, the Cobra Commander one. Weren't they going into space
right after? It was at the very end. They did,
yeah. So he might be connected to them too. I'm not 100%.
That could be really interesting, actually.
Because they're. I imagine that they're going to wrap all of this in together. So Cobra Law people, Transformers, the Zertonians. I imagine those will all be wrapped in together.
I could see that. I could see that happening, and they're playing the long game for it too, which is cool. Obviously we're almost 3 years into this universe being a thing. I don't remember when Void Rivals 1 came out, but we're almost 3 years into it and we haven't gotten a full-on crossover yet. But it seems like the more we're reading of this, even with this, you know, story that was in year 1, that we're like, oh wow, there's all these connections for what could happen later.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see how it's all going to come together, hopefully. So, but that Karbala idea is awesome. I like it. So we get into it. We get more stuff with the Quintessons here. And they're just kind of, I don't remember what was going there exactly, but then Hot Rod learns of something during his training there, and so he immediately sets off, and then the Quintesson later is like, he leaves suspiciously fast. Follow him. And so it'll be interesting to see what that does in the future. Because as we kind of like enter the end here, it's just like all the bits that sets up whatever's going to be happening essentially in the next volume. As here as the forces lead, and you can see that one of them's trying to figure out what the hell's on that tablet.
Yeah, he's the one that got saved, so that's like a huge deal. He's kind of looking it over, and that'll play into it. And then we get to see in the next page that old Proximus is still kicking the Energizer Butter. He just keeps going
crazy.
And going.
Because it's like, I guess he could just reform himself, because like he very clearly got cut in half.
Yeah, he must have. I guess he healed his middle torso, because that sword was like right in the midsection.
It was,
and he has
gnarly cut.
Yeah, and only an arm and a leg was left behind. So I don't know if that was just kind of a artistic mistake.
His arm is still missing.
Yeah, that arm and leg are gone. So
yeah, we'll see. We'll see if they talk about it any
what I want to know is like if Energon can take like a dead Autobot practically and reform him. I'm wondering, can Energon cure him completely? Because he has that partial jewel there. I'm wondering how much Energon can actually re-heal these people. It'd be interesting in the future to see how this plays out.
Yeah, there's some really interesting connections set up here. And here we get into the end bit too, where Siluria is determined to head out on her own, being like, this is the time where we must split up. Because whatever is with that key fob thing that she has, she's like, well, we must,
she must protect her sacred music collection from all of her pirated TV series and movies. She can't have anyone seeing that stuff. Yeah. This was interesting too, having the guy all like solemn and stuff. Like, there's an interesting connection between these two.
Yeah, getting a little bit more of them. I think this is what I was referencing. This is the bit I was referencing earlier of like, oh, they really don't want the unity to happen here. Like it's bad stuff is going on, and then we get this bit with Proximus finding this other little kid.
Now, this was the little kid that freed Derek.
Yes.
Volume 1. So I wondered if Proximus is going to join the rebellion types.
That'll be interesting because he obviously doesn't want to do anything with his father anymore.
Well, he said, too, to his father, he's like, when I'm done with this mission, how do you know I'm not going to turn against you? And he's like, well, we'll address that when it happens. So it'll be interesting to see what side he's going to be on here in the future.
Yeah, it's some very interesting story threads. I'm looking forward to reading what's next with all this as we get into it. And we get this final bit, too, of where they're setting off from each other. And and there's this bit. I keep on forgetting about it. I forgot about this action bit with Skuxoid right at the end too. Skuxoid's having his whole on action bit as he's getting chased here, and then there's this guy. I don't know who this guy is. Lord Gaikon. Yeah, I don't know who Lord Gaikon is, but he's going through this and he's like,
oh, this part was sad too, because it's like,
who am I
got away, and he's just like, oh, this is pointless without my family.
What's it all for? Yeah. But yeah, here is when she's really getting her all ready to leave. Here, Derek gives her his gauntlet, and this is really funny too. Of the the talking can is like, I do not approve of this. Allowing a Zertonian to wield a android is absolutely forbidden, treacherous even. And then a moment later, she's like, I'll promise I'll return it. And the end's like, well, that's something at least. But yeah, funny. And they
see, this is where here's something important. Go back one page.
Yeah.
This is very important because as a guy, there's nothing worse than when the girl you like says you remind me of my brother. So he just got friend zoned in volume 2.
This is true.
I felt so bad for Derek because, like, oh, dude, you were doing so well, and now she says pretty soon she's gonna be like, Derek, I wish I could find a Zertonian like you, and it's just going downhill for Derek at this point. I just to be friend zoned so quickly.
It's friend zone, gets left here
with the robot. It's just but yeah, anyway, so this part is interesting though when they touch stones and it awakens something. Like there's something around that's just like, oh, this is a big moment here, and it's inside the black hole, which is also very interesting.
Listen, here's all I'm saying. It's obviously a big planet object here. Has fucking eyes. That must be Unicron, right? Right? Like,
well, Google spoiled it for me, so I won't spoil it for you, so you can find out hopefully here in a future volume. But I will tell you this: it's not Unicron.
Here's my big thing I freaked out about earlier, being like, "Oh, this is Unicron." Oh shit! Okay, no.
I don't think so. Not according, maybe, but not. I don't think so. Google didn't mention that when I got spoiled here a little bit ago, looking up Zerta Tryon. So,
be careful what you Google.
Looking up a character and it's just like, oh, damn it.
That's not what I wanted. But and we see this thing awakens and then I guess it goes back to sleep. I don't quite know what to think about it. And yeah, it's how it ends though.
Well, he got friend zoned so immensely that it woke up the dead planet inside the black hole. He's just all like, what? Oh, dude, that's horrible. And he goes back to sleep. He's just like, bro.
It's true. Yeah, that is there's some validity in that statement.
Volume 2, The Friend Zone.
I like this too, this text here at the end too, where it's like, all will be revealed to you in time if you allow yourself to see it.
Yeah.
Quite a way of saying, there's a lot of this. You got to be patient with us.
Yeah, keep reading volume 3, kids.
Yeah, keep on reading. Till next time, volume 3. Oh. But that was definitely an exciting volume. As just so much more involved in it.
Yeah,
be fun. And so, and can't wait for volume 3. I think Global Comics has the first 4 out on there right now. So.
Yeah, I'm probably going to read volume 3 here in the next couple days, even though that we're not going to review it till next week, just because I'm kind of hooked now. I mean, all of this stuff from the Energon Universe, the G.I. Joe, the Cobra one-shots, the Transformers, has all been immensely interesting with good interconnected storytelling.
Yeah.
And it paced really well. Joshua Williamson, Kirkman, just top-notch all the way around.
For sure. I agree. It is awesome stuff that they've been doing this entire time. And, at first I was only really hooked on the Transformers. I was interested in the Void Rivals because I read a little bit of it at the beginning. But then after getting G.I. Joe hooked into this, and now it's Void Rivals, like, oh my gosh. It's like...
It's one of the really awesome benefits of doing a show like this is that we force ourselves to read stuff that we probably would have just bypassed. And now we're like... Now I'm happy that I'm immersed in the entire Energon universe. Like it is. True. I tell people all the time, it's like if you think comics are in a shitty place right now, go read the Energon universe. You know,
It is
go
great.
read
Yeah.
Absolute Universe and the Energon Universe, and you're going to see that comic books, not all comic books are bad.
That's true. That's true. It's very easy to stereotype all the across everything of whatever entertainment medium, and so that's certainly true. And so,
Yeah.
but yeah, very much so. But yeah, this was such a great time as usual, talking about all this fun Energon Universe stuff. Always so much fun to talk about it, and yeah, awesome time. What do you got going on?
I'll be live streaming tonight, working on more designs for the Squirrel Book, and I might be on last panel tomorrow. I'm not 100% sure yet. On Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I should be streaming more Squirrel stuff, and then on Monday, I'll be on with Melvin Cruz for our Art Brothers show, where we're going to be working on Super Mario Brothers Galaxy fan art. And
Let's
it was
go.
originally going to be Mario, but then I found out Star Fox was in the movie, and I'm a
Yes.
massive Star Fox fan.
Yes.
So now it's going to be Super Mario Brothers Galaxy fan art, so that way I can draw Star Fox. I was like, I need to work this some way I can draw Star Fox. So we'll be doing some Star Fox fan art and stuff along those lines on
Love
Monday.
it.
And yeah, just working on the Squirrel Book, working on getting ready for my convention coming up mid-April,
Nice.
and then preparing for my Kickstarter in May. So just a lot of work on getting ready for all that stuff.
That's awesome stuff. Got a lot of awesome stuff going on, and yeah, excited to see where all that goes. Be shilling that Kickstarter hard here sooner than later once it's all set up. Oh, but yeah, always a bunch of fun stuff going on here in the Dingus Den. Whether it's more of these reviews, comic dub voice dubs. Oh my gosh, words are hard sometimes. I swear I could speak better of those. As of this recording, the one that was just released was April Fool's, where I voiced a Riddler, and that was so much fun. And then there was I might also have some cool interviews and stuff coming up, so make sure you check that out. But yeah, without further ado, thank you all, everybody, so much for joining. If you didn't already hit that like and subscribe button, make sure you do so. We'll see you next time here on the Dingus Den. Laters, everybody. Bye.